This is Caitlin, your host of the NoSleep4Dramas Podcast, where we get no sleep and survive on coffee to watch just one more episode at night. Welcome back to the podcast, and we are now looking at the non-Korean dramas from the first half of 2024 that I watched and I enjoyed. If you guys have not listened to my top Korean dramas of the first half of 2024, you can go listen to that now. That was released 2 weeks ago, I want to say. Or you can go to the blog and read that list. It is also linked in the blog post for this episode as well. So you can go to today's blog post and get that list in there too. And as I just said, this is also a blog post. And so if you want my entire list and maybe a condensed version of my thoughts on why these dramas are in this list, you can go to the blog now and you can read it or use that as a guide as you listen along. As I said in my top Korean dramas episode, this is a series I've done since I started the blog 4 years ago. In July, which is halfway through the year, a little over halfway through the year, I look back on the first 6 months and I talk about the dramas, both Korean and otherwise, that I watched in that year and I liked, and then not necessarily rank them or anything, but in both of my lists this year, there was a winner, a number one that is going to be really hard to beat for the rest of the year. It might happen, it might not. And I've been doing this for like 4 years now, and I love doing this, and I love talking about dramas and going back and examining the dramas I've watched in the first 6 months. And every time I do this, though, two things, and I think I said this in the Korean dramas episode, it is blatantly apparent every time I do this that I watch so many Korean dramas and not enough of the other dramas. Every time I do this, even if I examine the entire year. And I say I'm trying to get better at it, and I really am, but it's just not. It definitely, like, I'm watching twice as many Korean dramas as I do every other. I think I've watched I'm going to check these numbers because I actually have them. Hold on. I think I've watched like 30 Korean dramas, I want to say. I make a list, so if you guys have no idea what my drama list is, it is a website you can go to and keep track of basically anything you do with an Asian drama. Watch, complete, rating, review. I keep custom lists on what I've completed every year. So I have a list for every year that I started this blog back to, I think, 2019, maybe even 2018, even before I started the blog, where I have a list of all the dramas that I completed in that year, as well as my ratings, and then the month I created them. Yeah, so far this year, I have completed 39 dramas, and 20 of those dramas are Korean. The next highest number after that is Chinese, which I completed 9. So that's pretty much double just Korean dramas. And if you subtract one drama, so 19, because one drama I finished in July, 19 I finished in the first half 2024. So I pretty much watch double the amount of Korean dramas versus everything else, and I really want to change that number and get them at least closer. Double does not feel okay to me. But yeah, so that's the reason why I do 2 separate lists, because if I was trying to compare Korean and all the other country dramas, we'd be here all day. And I would have like a list, I don't even know, more than a mile long, because I try to keep these to about 10 at minimum, and like a couple honorable mentions if I have more than that. With Korean dramas, that usually is the case. This year was a little different. You can go back and listen to that episode. With non-Korean dramas, that might not be the case. I might not even have watched enough dramas to have a top 10 because they weren't good or something. And that was my worry for this year, honestly. I was talking about this in the Korean drama episode. I was really worried about this episode because in the first half of 2024, I did a lot of rewatches due to podcast episodes. And I was worried I was not going to be able to make this list without putting a rewatch in it. I did manage to do that, though. because I looked back on the Korean list that I made and it had 8 dramas. So not even enough Korean dramas this year so far to make the list. I had 8 dramas in that list. So I was like, okay, if I can do 8, let me count that really quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, 8. I was like, well, if I can do 8 dramas in the Korean dramas, I can definitely find 8 or close to 8 non-Korean dramas I ranked high and liked in the first half, which I did. I still am going to mention them though, because I still want to highlight those rewatches. I just was hoping I can make this list without the rewatches, because we know I'm biased with these rewatches. Only rewatch stuff I've loved and was doing podcast episodes on things I loved. I wouldn't have agreed to do the podcast episode if I had to rewatch something I didn't like. Because one, you don't want me in that podcast episode like bashing this drama, right? And not agreeing with everybody else, because clearly everybody else loved the drama, you know? I don't know if that would be a good conversation. So I'm just really biased when it comes to these rewatches that would have been in this list. So I'm really glad I could make this list without mentioning the rewatches in my list. I will at the end, just to highlight them and make sure you guys know that if I didn't have enough non-Korean dramas for this list, I would have had to put the rewatches in. I also already know, due to the fact I haven't included the rewatches, the end of the year non-Korean drama list will not have to use rewatches either, because I'm also currently watching like 6 Chinese dramas. So if I like any of them and any of them work out, they'll probably be in my favorites of 2024 for the entire year. Unless I like dislike everything I'm watching. I don't know. So I just ultimately decided not to use the rewatches, even though I said in my Korean dramas list I was going to. That being said, this is going to be a shorter list because I did not have enough to make 10. So most of the rewatch dramas I mentioned here too, as I said, were for podcast episodes. So if you want to hear, I'm not going to give a full review of the rewatches, but if you want to hear those reviews and my thoughts on those dramas, you can go and find those various podcast episodes between the drama trio, Daebak, T and Soju, Swoon Diaries, like a bunch of those podcast episodes. Shout out to all my podcasters. Love you guys. So we'll have to see. I might even have included some of those rewatches in previous top drama lists, like prior years. So you can even go back on my blog and look at those lists. So for example, Reset definitely will be on one of those lists in like 2022 or something. So yeah, so due to the fact I almost use these rewatches just shows that there were definitely non-Korean dramas I should have dropped and didn't, and then completed them and gave them a low rating, which is why they're not on this list. And which means this list is probably going to be quite different by the end of the year. I might not even have some of these dramas on the list by the end of the year. We'll have to see. All right, so this list is going to be all of the non-Korean dramas I liked and would recommend watching if you have not yet in the first 6 months of 2024. They will have to be dramas that I completed in the first half of 24. It does not mean they have to have premiered or aired in 2024. I could have watched a drama from 3 years ago in 2024 and it will be on this list. So it's not necessarily a drama that aired this year. Or it might have started airing in 2023 and ended in 2024. I still would have included this on this list. As I mentioned before, these are everything but the Korean dramas. If you want to hear my Korean dramas list, you can go about 2 or 3 episodes back on the podcast and listen to that list. I like making 2 separate lists. It causes me to watch other dramas. The whole reason why I'm doing this podcast and blog is to watch pretty much any drama I can get my hand on. Yeah, so there are plenty of non-Korean dramas I have yet to get to. So if your favorites from this year are not on this list, probably means I haven't watched them yet. So if you want me to watch them, please DM me, comment, let me know some of your favorites from this year, because I know absolutely I have not watched one of the biggest Chinese dramas this year. I plan to, but I have not watched it because, as I've stated before, with Korean dramas, they are the only dramas I watch as they air. The rest of them I wait until they're done. So for the other reason why I think this list is going to change drastically, if the Chinese drama, Thai drama, Japanese drama, whatever drama aired in the first 6 months of the year, it's very likely I won't watch it until the second half of the year, if not later. Your favorites are probably not on this list from the first 6 months of the year because I have not seen them yet. Other than number one, this list is not in any particular order, is not ranked. My number one definitely is ranked, and it is going to be a difficult time pushing that off of number one. We'll have to see what happens. So, as I did in the Korean drama episode, I'm going to go from the bottom to the top of my list in no particular order, as I said. And then at the very end, I'll talk about the rewatches that would be included in this list. For the most part, I think put this list together in terms of when I finished them, with a little tweaks here and there, not necessarily when they aired either, because as I said, I don't watch things as they air for the most part. So, give or take though, because this first one I'm going to talk about, I think I watched it in February and it's the last on the list, so I don't really know. But the first one I'm going to talk about, I do have a podcast episode. I made a special episode for this drama to review it because I needed to talk about it more, so you can check that episode out now. I don't have a review up on my blog for this one, though. It was a special one-off episode that I just kind of pulled out a microphone and did. So if you want to hear my review of this drama, you will have to go to the podcast. And that is the Japanese drama House of Ninjas. It aired, I think, in February, and it is 8 episodes, and it's on Netflix. I rated this an 8 out of 10. If you love action dramas or just want to watch a drama about ninjas, you should watch this drama. It has some great acting, some great action and fighting scenes. I came into this drama thinking it was just going to be a ninja thing and revenge, typical ninja story. It is definitely more than just a ninja story. Obviously it's titled House of Ninjas for a reason. It's shaped around that, but it's also a family drama. It's a story about a family wrapped in a story of ninjas, which I was not expecting, but I loved. It definitely does need a season 2, which is why I downrated it a little bit. As I said, I say this a lot, especially when it comes to Japanese dramas. Japanese dramas do this all the time. I love when dramas are more than just what they seem. And as I said, this is more than just an action drama. It is a family drama wrapped in that. I was not expecting it, but it paid off. It was great. I was pleasantly surprised. Another reason why I downgraded this is because you cannot watch this drama during the day. It is dark. Ninjas, they sneak around at night, You literally cannot see what's happening on your screen because the scenes are at night. It had a lighting problem, basically. And then also, I downgraded this because it was somewhat predictable with one storyline, one story part of it. But overall, I was very entertaining. It was fun. It was different than anything I was watching at that time. So if you have not checked this Japanese drama out, I would recommend it. It was a good time. So that was House of Ninjas. Again, it's a Japanese drama. You can watch it on Netflix. I really hope we get a season 2 for this one, though, because it needs one. Okay, so the next one is also from Japan. It actually is a movie and not a drama, but I felt like I could put it here, even though it's not a drama. I did watch it this year, and that is the live adaptation of My Happy Marriage called As Long as We Both Shall Live. It is about almost a 2-hour movie. I watched it on YouTube, not the best quality ever, but at least I was able to watch it, and I'm glad I did. I rated this an 8.5 out of 10. I did a versus showdown episode of this movie and anime for the podcast, so you can read it on the blog or listen to that episode as well. I did say in the episode that I like the anime a little more than the movie, but only slightly more. Some aspects of the movie worked better for me than the anime, and vice versa. So I think this movie is still a really good adaptation and was very entertaining. Like, I had no issues in terms of like, oh, this is horrible compared to the anime, that anything. I thought it was quite good. The movie was well cast, in my opinion. They played their characters very well. They had great chemistry together. That's one of the highlights of the movie, because I like, the anime can only show so much. You can definitely have chemistry in an anime, but there's something different when it's like a live adaptation. The CGI was fantastic. I loved how the film portrayed the powers and the fantasy parts of the story. Even though the ending was like completely different from the anime, I still think the ending fit the movie and was still good and entertaining. Did I want more aspects of the other ending? Yes. But I didn't hate it either, so that was fine. I could have used more scenes with the main couple, though, just because I love them so much. Like, the anime did a very good job in terms of their relationship, and the story was around them, and the movie put a little more action into it. And it was still about the main couple, but there was an added storyline that wasn't in the anime that drew that attention a little bit. I would have liked more scenes with the main couple, but again, that's probably just because I love them so much. The movie did seem a little bit rushed at the end, but there's only so much you could put in a 2-hour movie. I definitely would like a sequel for the movie as well as the anime, which I think Netflix confirmed we are getting a sequel for the anime, hopefully this year, but we'll have to see. But overall, I would still recommend this movie. If you can find this movie, especially at a better quality than I did in YouTube, please watch it. It's so good. It's really good. It's worth your time. And that is As Long as We Both Shall Live, the Japanese movie of the live adaptation of the anime My Happy Marriage. Rating 8.5 out of 10. All right, next one I'm going to talk about is going to be quick because it's a shorter drama. This is a Chinese drama called Provoke. I watched it on Amazon Prime. It is technically 25 episodes long, but each episode is like 12 minutes long. So you can do your own math to figure that out. I rated this an 8.5 out of 10. I've watched some of these short web dramas, and one thing I will say, this is more on the sizzling side than compared to some of the others. If you are a watcher of these short Chinese web dramas and you have not watched this one, please do. You will greatly enjoy it. The leads have some sizzling chemistry, as I said. They are fantastic together. For how short the episodes and the drama was, the story was very engaging, where you root for their leads. Basically, the story is they need to get their revenge. So they work together eventually to accomplish this revenge. And the story, even though the episodes are short and the drama is short, it's quite engaging. You start rooting for this couple, you get invested in this couple. It is one of the cases where I wish this drama was a full-length drama because I loved them together. I loved their chemistry. I wanted to see more of the revenge. I wanted to see them plan out every revenge. It kind of was just like, oh, we need to get revenge on this guy. Okay, we did it. Like, there was some planning, but if it was a full-length drama, it would have been more fun to see them plan that out and kind of like scope out each of their quote-unquote victims in a way. Also, because they have such sizzling chemistry, I wanted more scenes of them together. They needed more scenes of them together, really. But yeah, that's the only thing I really have to say about this drama. Like, it was short, it was nice. I definitely need to watch some more of these short dramas because I have a bunch of them on my list, my plan to watch list, that I just haven't gotten around to yet. So that was Provoke. It's a Chinese drama on Amazon Prime. Again, like really short episodes, 8.5 out of 10. Next on my list, I'm going to talk about another Chinese drama, and that is The Long Night. This aired in 2020 It's 12 episodes. It's on iQIYI, and I rated it a 9 out of 10. I should have watched this back in 2020. I remember watching a preview of this drama or something and being like, okay, I need to watch this drama. And then I watched The Bad Kids. Fantastic drama. If you have not watched The Bad Kids, you need to. You need to put that on your list right now. And this aired, I think, after The Bad Kids. And I have no idea why I didn't click play. Like, I really don't. I have no idea why it took me so long to watch this. And like the crazy thing is it has one of my favorite actors of all time in it. Like, I don't understand why I didn't click play on this drama until now. Like, Bayu is one of my favorite actors of all time. I have no idea. I cannot tell you why I have not clicked play on this. In my opinion, this drama is Bayu's best acting that I've seen. I've seen a lot of his dramas. Not every drama, but I've seen a lot of his dramas. And of the ones I have seen, this is his best acting, in my opinion. The entire cast did a great job. Like, their acting was great. I mean, it takes a lot for an acting, like the actors, to get you invested in this drama, to get mad at the storyline. Like, I was pissed for Bayu's character through this entire drama. Like, I was so frustrated because you're rooting for him eventually, as well as everybody, like the other people who are trying to figure out this case. And there was just so many roadblocks that they had to get through. And I'm just like, oh my God, like I don't know what I would have done, but I would not have stuck this out for this long because it goes many, many years. The story takes place over many, many, many years. So it takes a lot for a drama to have that reaction from me and just tells you how good this story and acting is. The drama is quite unpredictable, but in a good way. It's hard to follow at times due to the story structure, I will say, because there's 3 different timelines you're trying to follow and they're jumping between all of them. Sometimes the drama does a good job in terms of identifying what timeline you're in, and some of them not so much, especially when they're like, a random guy pops up and you're like, okay, which timeline is this dude? It's not like one of the main characters in those timelines. So I will say it's a little hard to follow sometimes. So you have to pay attention to this drama or you will not understand what's going on. Like, if you miss something, you're screwed until you like rewind. And yeah, I don't know. Yeah. I will just say it's very good, but you do have to pay attention to it. Crime drama was very entertaining, but it is also really heartbreaking to watch. And maybe that's just me. Maybe because I got so invested in the story. As I said, I got really angry for Bayu's character. And just to watch his character go through this story was just, along with other people, but like his character and his story arc was so heartbreaking. And I'm just like, oh my God. I got mad at characters. I got frustrated at characters. You will probably do the same, especially if you get as invested in this drama as I did. I will say the reason why I finally watched this drama, which I'm sad to say this made me watch it, was there is supposed to be a Korean remake of this drama this year. So I might have to do a versus episode of the 2. I'm really mad that remake made me watch the show. I should have watched this like 4 years ago, but here we are. At least I watched it. But yeah, if you guys are holding out and don't want to watch this or haven't heard of this drama or are like me and have no idea that there's a Korean remake coming out and you want to watch the original before the remake, I knew there was coming up, but watch this drama. Please watch this drama. Please go and watch The Long Night. Yeah. So I rated this a 9 out of 10. That was The Long Night. It's a Chinese drama. It's on iQIYI. As far as I'm aware, that's the only place you can find it. I could be wrong, but that's all I know. Okay, the next one I'm going to talk about. Technically, I'm not done with this drama, but it's split up into 3 seasons, so I'm still counting it. And that is Light the Night, Season 1. I've only watched Season 1. It's a Taiwanese drama on Netflix. It's 8 episodes for Season 1, 8 episodes for Season 2, 8 episodes for season 3. I still have season 2 and 3 to watch. Again, this is another drama that I feel so bad it took me so long to watch. Because again, this has been on my list forever. And I've been having people telling me I need to watch this drama for years, just saying, hey, you will love this. You need to watch this. Yeah, it was crazy. It blows my mind that it takes me so long to watch some of these dramas. And then I do, and I'm like kicking myself on why it's taking me so long to watch these dramas. So anyway, this is season 1. It's a crime drama, Taiwanese drama on Netflix. It was amazing. I mean, as I said, I can see why so many people told me to watch this. It has a very talented cast. Everybody who's anybody in Taiwanese drama land is in this drama. I'm looking forward to the cameos in season 2 and 3. It has a little bit of everything: romance, mystery, crime, relationships, found family. Found family, as we know, is one of my favorite tropes of all time. It's unpredictable. It's one of those dramas where, like, you have no idea who to trust. Definitely in season 1, for sure, because you're like, oh my god, that dude seems like a nice guy, and then he does this. Or, oh my god, how did I ever like this woman ever? Still have no idea why this drama was split into 3 seasons, but I really do need to get my act together and watch the other 2 seasons. Like, this is ridiculous that I just watched season 1 and then I just never went back to it. Same with, like, Detective Chinatown. I rewatched season 1 so I could watch season 2, and I've yet to watch season 2. Like, I need to stop starting dramas and just watch the ones that I have on my list to watch already. Especially because, like, there's dramas that I know are getting a second season that I haven't even watched the first season. And I'm just like, I need to complete some of these dramas. Like, for example, Sweet Home just got season 3. I have yet to even watch season 2. Like, I need to actually go and watch them so I don't have them waiting on my list for years. I don't know. I have to make a decision. I also have to finish some dramas I'm actually watching now, because I've been watching some things for the longest time and I need to just get them off my watch list. I'm going to complete them though. I'm not going to drop them. Anyway, I need to get my act together and actually watch season 2 and season 3 of Light the Night. It was fantastic. Season 1 definitely made this list. Hopefully, if I watch season 2 and 3 in 2024, I can just put this entire drama on this list and not have to split it into seasons. But we'll have to see. Rated this a 9 out of 10. That was Light the Night, season 1. It's on Netflix. This might be a really short episode. Just FYI. Okay, so another drama that I am going to talk about. It might not be on this list by the end of the year. We will have to see. Because this is one of those dramas where either people will agree with me or people will disagree with me. Because the social media aspect after this drama aired was very polarizing, in my opinion. Some people can disagree with me on that, but I saw people who were really excited about this drama watch it and then be like, oh, it's not that good. Or I saw people who, like, didn't know anything about this drama watch it and it's one of their favorite things ever. So I don't know if this is controversial to be on this list, but I'm going to put it anyway. Also, people might find this drama, like, it's weird that this drama is on my list because this is not a genre I usually go for, but I will explain that. So I'm about to talk to you about I Love You, which is a Japanese drama, 10 episodes on Netflix. I rated this a 9 out of 10. I thought this drama was quite enjoyable. I thought it was a fun, enjoyable rom-com. I might be a little biased because I've said this before. Japanese dramas are my favorite country to go to for romance dramas. I have no idea why, in my opinion. I really don't. Maybe it's like the personalities that are in these romance dramas I resonate with because my personality is kind of like that. I don't really know why I like romance Japanese dramas over Korean dramas, for example. Honestly, I think I like other countries' romance dramas over Korean romance dramas in general, but it also depends on the drama. I just gravitate towards Japanese romance dramas a lot. So I might have a little bias when it comes to I Love You, because I know one of the critiques was like the female lead is just so shy, so indecisive, that it was like hard to watch. I loved that part. Like, and maybe it's because I knew that going in. Like, that is a common thing when it comes to romance dramas with Japanese dramas, boy and girl, like, or boy or girl. Like, it doesn't matter what the gender. Like, you have that type of personality all over Japanese romance dramas. I don't mind that. Did it get a little annoying? Yeah, sure. Like, it was a little annoying that she couldn't decide, but I kind of knew that was going to happen, so I don't think I got as annoyed as other people did. I'll have to see if this one will be on my list by the end of the year, though, because I'm watching some great Chinese dramas right now, so we'll have to see. I liked this drama for many reasons. I was excited to watch this, so that might be another bias. I was excited to watch this when this was announced, just because we had not seen the Korean actor coming into a Japanese drama and being in a romantic lead role. At least I had never seen that for a long time. I have since been told that it has happened before. I have not seen those dramas. Those dramas are really, really old. The leads are cute with lots of chemistry, in my opinion. I definitely did not like the trope of noble idiocy at the end. I did not think that was needed, and I did say that in my review on my blog. I didn't like do a full review of this. I just like said it in my wrap up blog post and wrap up podcast episodes. I love the message that the audience got from it by the end. As I said, I really had no problem with how reserved the female lead was, but that might just be me going into this drama knowing that would probably happen at some point. I also know a lot of people did not like the fact that drama, at least the Netflix version, did not sub his Korean thoughts. I did not mind that because I thought that was more immersive when it came to the story, because you could relate to the female lead more. I know the Vicky version has it subbed, so if you really care about that, you can go watch the Vicky version. I really didn't care. Also, the Netflix scheduling of this drama was a little wonky. It was like 4 episodes, and then you had to wait a while for the other 4, so that didn't help a lot. But overall, I quite enjoyed this romance drama. I'm really glad that it kind of lived up to my expectations. I gave it a 9 out of 10. Like, the reason why I downrated was very minuscule between noble idiocy and, like, that's pretty much it. Yeah, I'm really curious how, because I know there's already another drama that's probably going to come out by the, like, September, maybe October, and I don't remember the people's names in it. I can see their faces. We got posters for it like last week. But I think that's a Japanese actor coming into a Korean drama. She came to Japan to study college, and then they meet 10 years later, or vice versa. I can't remember. And then we also have a BL drama that was just announced, done by Netflix, with Taecyeon in it. That is going to be, I think they said, a Japanese drama. So we might be seeing more of these more often, which I do not mind, honestly. But I'm really, like, it's really interesting given the things that are coming out of Korea with, like, the birth rate and stuff. Not even just Korea, like Japan, everywhere, pretty much. And now we're having a surge of these types of dramas. I had a whole long conversation with various people about this, but I found it quite interesting that this was happening. I don't mind it. It's definitely interesting to watch. It produces these dramas that, in my opinion, are enjoyable so far. So we'll have to see what happens. But it's really curious how there might be a correlation with that type of thing. So that was I Love You. It's a Japanese drama, 10 episodes on Netflix. I gave it a 9 out of 10. And the last drama, my number one drama, I don't know if anything will outrank this. In my opinion, I will have to say. I gave this a 10 out of 10. Like, I had no issues with it. except for like maybe minor things that really did not affect the score. That is Shogun. Technically, it's a US production, but I'd say it's a Japanese drama. 10 episodes on Hulu. We are definitely getting season 2 and season 3, which I don't know how I feel about that, because obviously they're going off the source material now, because they pretty much did the entire book in the first season. This is definitely hands down the best thing I watched in 2024 that is not a Korean drama. I definitely hands down the best thing I watched. 10 out of 10. I have very minor issues with this, but nothing bad enough to rank it less than a 10. Costumes, to the set, to the acting, to like everything. It was such a joy and an experience to watch this. And I probably am going to do a review episode of this drama because there's just so much to say. And I probably should have already done that, in my opinion. I honestly don't know what I was expecting. I think a lot of people did not click play on this because I think they were going off of the old one that was made in like the East, I want to say, maybe even earlier. And I've never seen it. From what I've heard, it is not the best thing ever. Like, the perspective is written very racially. That's all I'm going to say. And so I can understand why people did not click play on this, because that was already there. And they're like, okay, it's an American production. How good can it be? Are they going to take the white savior thing? I understand everybody's like hesitancy, and they're all valid. I probably had that too. But seeing those posters and seeing that first trailer, I'm like, I don't like, I at least need to check this out. If it becomes white savior, then I can always drop it. But I need to check this out. So I have no regrets watching this drama. You could tell the drama took a lot of time and research and cared about the production. I was so invested in this drama that I was watching like every interview. I listened to the podcast. They have a podcast that they released, I think, after every episode. I listened to every episode of that podcast. I was obsessed with this show. When I start watching behind the scenes stuff and interviews and listen to a podcast and like just watch everything I can get my hands on about a show, I'm obsessed with that show. Like, currently it's the same thing with The Boyfriend, but like, I absolutely loved Shogun. I was fascinated by it every week, and it was just such a joy and such a marvel to watch this show, and just a treat for my eyes. Like, it was such a treat, and I was so grateful that this show was made. Apparently, according to the interview I watched, like, it almost got canned due to COVID and like was delayed countless times. And I was like, thank the TV gods this was made. It just blew my mind that I heard that this might not have been made, or like might have been scrapped. But thankfully it wasn't, because I got to see it. Again, I do not know how I feel about season 2 and 3. If they can pull it off, if they do what they did in season 1 with season 2 and 3, I will be fine watching that. They're going off source material now, so that could be good and that could not be good, depending. I just hope they keep the production and the quality that they have in season 1. That will be my favorite. So we'll have to wait and see. I have no idea when season 2 and season 3 is supposed to be out. Probably years from now. I don't even know. Like, at least a year, if not more. Fun fact about this, because the Emmy nominations came out in the last week, I want to say, this show got 25 Emmy nominations, which was the most of any show in 2024. Well deserved, in my opinion. I hope this show wins big. I hope this show wins big in the Emmys. I want this show to win everything. It's just so good. I need to do a review episode on this. I could talk forever about this drama, like from costumes to the acting to everything about it. I could talk about everything. So that is my number one non-Korean drama of 2024, hands down. Like, nothing will probably beat that, in my opinion. Something will have to be extra special to beat this show, and it's going to take a lot. For people who have not watched this show and were, I don't know, had reservations because they were afraid of the white savior, I don't know, started it, but it was moving slowly or something. You need to watch this show. Like, just do yourself a favor and watch this show. It is a masterpiece of a drama. And there's like, I cannot say enough about this drama. It's on Hulu. That's Shogun. It's a Japanese drama slash USA production. I don't really know how to categorize it because they definitely use Japanese production and people to influence and research this show, but it was made by FX, so I don't know. 10 out of 10. Like, literally nothing bad to say about it. Like, I could go on for hours talking about this show. I'm trying to get everybody in my life to watch this show. I even like told my parents, like, you need to watch this show. And they're like, well, it got 25 Emmy nominations, so yeah, probably we should. Yes, you do. I rated it a 10 out of 10. It's the best show I watched this year. So that is my list of non-rewatches. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7. I have 6 shows and 1 movie, so that is definitely going to be, that list is going to change drastically by the end of the year. So the rewatches that should be on this list, but I just am going to list them out. I've talked about some of these dramas so many times, and there's podcast episodes up the wazoo about them. Except for one, which it'll be out in October, and I'll explain in a second. Rewatches that I was gonna put on this list are Reset. I've already talked about it. We did a podcast episode with Tea and Soju, I want to say. Drama Trio did. Fantastic crime drama. If you guys have not watched this drama, it's a Chinese drama. Please go watch it. It's 15 episodes, I think. Fast-paced. I think I've like rewatched it 3 times at this point. It's great. Another C drama that it will be on this list just pretty much out of nostalgia. Like, I watched this. I didn't watch it as it aired, but it was one of my early on Chinese dramas, and then I rewatched it for a podcast episode in the last 6 months, and that is Princess Wei Young. Again, I think we reviewed this on the Tea and Soju podcast, if I'm not mistaken. It's a 2016 drama. It would probably be on this list too. I think I graded it like an 8.5 or something. It's great. I loved it. I loved how messy and dramatic it is. It's fantastic. And then the last one that would be on this list is the Taiwanese drama. Let me talk again. Taiwanese drama, The Victim's Game Season 1, which aired in 2020. I don't know how many times I've talked about this drama on any podcast or blog, but you guys should already know The Victim's Game is one of my favorite Taiwanese dramas. I have watched Season 2 now, so I'm probably going to be doing a podcast review of both seasons in October, I want to say. I want to do like some special stuff for like Halloween and that type of things. Look forward to that. That will probably be on my podcast because I feel like since I've talked about this drama so many times, I might as well do a review episode of it, especially now that season 2 is out. But if you have not watched The Victim's Game, just know there will be a review episode out in October. So if you want to watch the drama before this happens, you have 2 months, 2.5 technically. So those are the 3 rewatches that would be on this list if I decided to put rewatches on this list. But by the end of the year, this list will probably be completely different, in all honesty. But yeah, that is my top non-Korean dramas of the first half of 2024. It was actually kind of hard to make this list because, one, I didn't want to put any dramas on here that I completed but probably should have dropped. There was multiple of them. There was like 8 dramas on the non-Korean dramas that I probably should have not completed and just dropped because I gave them a really low number in my ranking of low. Like, and I think I explained this last episode, maybe the episode before. I think anything below a 7 in my ranking is not a good drama. And I need to get better at ranking stuff, but like 9, 10s are really good. 8s are still good dramas. 7.5, 7 are like okay, depending on 7.5 is okay. 7 is decent, like it's watchable. Anything below a 7, if I even give out a ranking, usually if it's below a 7, I drop it. Anything below a 7, which I did have a couple this in the first 6 months, you shouldn't watch. I won't recommend. If I ever make a ranking below a 7, which is rare nowadays because I just drop it usually. Yeah. So I think I counted up. There was like eight shows, 8 dramas across all the other non-Korean countries that I probably should have dropped and not completed because I rank them 7, 7.5, or even lower. So that's also kind of why I was like, oh, am I going to have to do rewatches on this list? Luckily, I didn't, but I just need to either drop more dramas or be more selective when it comes to non-Korean dramas, because there was definitely multiple dramas that I watched in the first half of this year that I probably should have just dropped, in my opinion. But I also just need to watch more non-Korean dramas in general, because as I said, I've watched almost double the Korean dramas as I have with at least Chinese dramas, if not others. So what are some of your favorite non-Korean dramas have you watched in 2024? I know I have like 3 or 4 Chinese dramas that I need to watch eventually, like The Double, for example. Did some of your non-Korean dramas from some of your favorites make my list? If you have any recommendations you want me to check out, please let me know. But that is my list of the top non-Korean dramas of the first half of 2024. What I thought of them, my somewhat little ranking, my recommendations. So thank you for another episode. Bye. If you want to continue the conversations about dramas that were started in this episode, you can find me on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter under the username NoSleep4Dramas. That is no sleep, the number 4 dramas, just like in the title of the podcast. This podcast is also an expansion of my blog, so you can visit my blog at www.NoSleep4Dramas.com, the number 4 dramas.com, and find multiple years of blog posts already available at your fingertips. All links are in the description of this episode. This has been an episode of the No Sleep for Dramas podcast, and I am your host, Caitlin. I will see you here next time, and I hope you get no sleep chasing the next episode just like me. Good night.